My name is Benali Hamdash, and I'm a London Assembly candidate on behalf of Sean Berry today. And I want to thank you for organising this event, and a massive thank you to everyone who had the courage to share their personal stories. It's really clear right now that there are so many unacceptable parts of London life for Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities, and we really need to speak loudly and clearly and demand more from those in charge. I have to say, I come here really worried about the direction of this country. This is the first Tory majority government we've had in my adult life. And I think, unfortunately, this government has made its plans and its tenor very clear, particularly via the policing bill. This policing bill is a draconian attack on civil liberties, on the lives of Gypsy, Roma and travellers, on our right to protest. And it's emblematic of an authoritarian approach to daily life. And I think this event is so important because we have to come together. We must speak out really clearly against this bill. And I'm really proud that there is actually cross-party unity that this bill must not pass in its current format. And I certainly stand here today to say that the Green Party is here ready to boost and support and challenge and fight every step of the way to make sure that this bill does not pass. Because it sets a tone and it sets a set priorities when we have epidemic levels of racist hate against the Gypsy, Roman traveller communities, and by the government's own confession, an epidemic of needless deaths, from suicide to poor mental health. We know that the marginalisation of Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities is unacceptable. It is so damaging, and it really is one of the sadly seemingly last acceptable prejudices, particularly when so many elected figures seem to rejoice at discriminating and attacking these communities. All quite negative, but I will say I am really positive about this election and our opportunity to make a difference. These elections in May are the opportunity to vote for a different type of politics, to give racism the red card, and to vote against the status quo. London, I think, is a special city. It's a unique city. And I think if you look at the polling, you will see that Londoners are about to massively reject the politics of this government, and they're going to vote for a different type of politics. And however you vote, I really want to encourage everyone to register. If you need a postal vote, go and get a postal vote. It's really important. This election is the most emphatic rejection of the politics of the policing bill. And we can't let COVID and we can't let this epidemic mean that people's voices aren't heard. And a massive thank you to all the organisations that are working really hard to register people and events like this to make sure that people understand how important their voice is. I'm going to talk about the Green Party because I am really, really proud to be a Green Party member, and I'm really proud to work really closely with Sean Berry for almost a decade. I look at Caroline Lucas, who has always championed the rights of Gypsy, Roman traveller in Parliament and is a member of the APPG. I look at the work that Greens have done on the City Hall, championing the fact that the London Plan and London's housing strategy really must take note and attention of the needs of the Gypsy and Roma traveller community. I promise that by backing the Green Party, you will give us a louder voice at City Hall and the opportunity to fight harder for you with more resources and make more of a difference. Because ultimately, this election is such a big election. There are so many challenges that London faces right now, where without a clear plan and without a clear set of bold priorities, this city that we love will not be the same city that we love in 10 years' time. The housing crisis, the climate emergency, TfL and keeping London moving. We need big, bold ideas to make sure this city succeeds and thrives and recovers. And I'm really proud of the platform that Sean Berry is running on. We're going to make London the greenest city in the world. We're going to invest and build a green recovery so that there are solar panels on every roof that needs them, good quality green jobs for everyone who needs them. We're going to make London's air pollution better. We're going to really focus on bringing new thinking on housing. We cannot continue to prioritise luxury housing over the homes that people actually need. We can't continue to demolish existing housing in favour of luxury housing, and we can't continue the awful neglect of existing homes. We heard it so loudly and clearly that the sites that we have already aren't being looked after well enough. And I think working as a local campaigner in Islington as well, I think there are so many people who live in estates, who live in sites right now, who will say that they're getting poor service from their councils and they're not getting the right level of support. With Sean, as a track record of a housing campaigner, as a green activist, you're going to get a mayor and a set of Greens in City Hall who will be passionate fighters for this, passionate advocates, and will work really hard to get your voices heard and to expose the awful level of service and the awful level of discrimination.
I'm just